Hello, Emily. We have our first video to kind of look at. I'm going to point a few things out to you. First of all, there's a lot of things that you do really well, um, and we want to really accentuate those positives. The goal with any technique change is certainly to accentuate positives and eliminate negatives. I'm just going to let this go as I talk. There's some things I want to show you. I like how you kind of stay up on top of your hands right there. I like the way you get forward. Generally speaking, the best breaststrokers in the world are the ones that get into a line the best and the quickest and stay in that line the longest. And actually, you have a stroke where I think we can accomplish that. First thing you got to do, though, is actually get into a line. Get into a line at this point in your stroke. Get into a proper line. At this point, your arms should be together. And actually, if you see, I'm gonna go a little further, because if you see, you actually start your pull before your kick finishes. See if you can see that, and then I'll move on to the next thing. There, you're starting to shoot in that line. You're starting your kick. Pretty wide with the kick, and your feet haven't stopped yet, and you've already started your out sweep. I call that kicking into an X position, or I guess it would be more this position than actually kicking into a line. So you need to really stretch through that, ride that kick out. Your kick is pretty wide. You want to get rid of that, you want to tighten that kick up a little bit so your directional pressure is all backward and get into a sharper line in general. So let's let it go forward again. See. And then I'm going to stop it right there. If you look at your hands right here and where you're at, look where your head is at in relation to your hand. I call this being behind the hands. If you actually look at your fingertips are angled up a little bit. That you never want. So you have fallen into the water and you are behind your hands, as opposed to being on top of your hands. Your reach should be right here, with your head tucked right in between. That's kind of funky looking. Eyes looking right down over the end of your hands. That might show a little bit of a high head position, but anyway. So those are a couple things that I would start out with. The other thing is timing. You're really breathing early. If you look where you start, you have started lifting your head already, and you can see that your arms are out here. A little bit of collapsed elbow on the out sweep. You want to make sure that you press out with straight elbows. And as you're pressing out, your hips are going to be up. So you're leaning into that out sweep. Stretch and press on the out sweep. Hips up and squeeze your kick together. So that's the position you're going to be in on your out sweep. Extend to an I. press to a Y. Never an X in breaststroke. Okay, there's your little lesson for the day. Hope that helped. We've got to get you to stretch that out and glide. Actually, I'm going to show you one more thing. Look how you open yourself up where you're really driving forward. Your body is really opened up to a lot of resistance. You need to be able to get that same movement, that same motion, but avoid opening up your whole body, including your knees. You're dropping your knees. So you're going forward in that position. It's a lot harder to go forward in that position than that position. So you need to figure out how to get the same movement in breaststroke, but keep it all flatter at the surface and more forward, not so much up and down. See you soon.